All right, let's talk structure. What even is structure and why is it so important? Well, structure, in my eyes, in my definition, is first of all knowing exactly where you are, knowing where you want to go, and then having a clear path to bridge the gap between where you are to where you want to go. That path, that in between, is the structure. All right, and why is it so important? Well, if we don't have a clear path on where we want to go, it's going to be a lot harder for us to actually get there. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what structure is, and this is all going to make sense by the end of this video, so make sure you stay till the end. So first, let's expand a little bit on what structure is. All right, so I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. I'm going to tell you exactly how to build structure within your life so that way you can achieve your goals exponentially faster than you even thought was possible. So structure is basically the path that's going to take you from where you are to where you want to be. So here's a step-by-step on how to actually build a structured routine in your life. So obviously the very first thing is know exactly where you are. Be extremely honest about your situation. If you're struggling physically, if your health isn't up to par, be honest with yourself. Now, this isn't the time to judge yourself. It's simply an honest reflection on your current life. So think of the different areas in your life and see where you are. Some things may be doing better than others. Some things may be really good and you don't really have to make an effort to make them better. Some things may be completely shit and you have to do your best. You have to create this structured routine to actually help you get from point A to point B. But the first step is to be extremely honest with yourself. Be extremely honest with your current circumstances, where you are in life. Now, the second step is to figure out what your goals are. Where do you want to go? If right now your health is shit and one of your goals is to be healthy, I know these are very vague goals, but I'm just using them as an example. If you want specificity, let's say you weigh 200 pounds now and your goal is to weigh 180 pounds, right? That's a little bit more specific. Now, to get even more specific is right now I'm at 200 and this is what I eat and this is what I do for exercise on a daily basis. And I want to get to 180 by December. Okay, that's a little bit more specific. So you want to be really fucking specific about where you are and where you want to go. So once you know exactly where you are, once you've figured out what your goals are, now it's time to really bridge the gap and figure out, how do I actually go from where I am to where I want to be? Let's just stick with the weight loss example, right? If I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months, what do I have to do to reach that goal? What kind of structure do I need in my life? What kind of routines do I need in my life, right? So structure is essentially knowing the path that's going to get you the results that you're after. Now, this means routines. This means habits. This means mindsets. This means letting go of certain things. This means changing your environment. Structure is all of these things. It's not just one thing. Structure is exactly what it takes for you to reach your ultimate desire. So with the example of the weight loss, what does structure look like based on where I'm at to where I want to go? Now, this is very generalized and it completely depends on where you are right now and where you want to be, okay? So I can't get to the granular details because I don't know your exact situation. But let's use this as an example. So let's say right now you're 200 pounds, right? And you want to get to 180. Well, let's look at where we are right now. We're at 200 pounds, okay? That's a fact. What are we eating? We're probably overeating and we're probably eating junk food, right? So that's where we are. Again, this isn't a time to judge yourself. It's a time to be completely honest with yourself. Radical honesty is the name of the game. So we know our nutrition is not up to par. Okay, now, how's our exercise? Are we doing any exercise or are we just being a lazy fucking bum? Well, we walk here and there, but most of the time we're just sitting on our ass. Our job requires us to sit on our ass all day. We doom scroll for 3 hours a day. So we don't really get much exercise, all right? Okay, that's our reality. Now, how's our sleep? Are we sleeping properly? Or are we getting less than optimal sleep? Are we recovering properly? Or are we just resting for the night? See, sleep isn't just about sleep and resting. It's about recovery. This is when our mind, body, and spirit completely recover. It's like a reset every single night if you get that deep REM sleep. And if your nutrition isn't up to par, if your exercise isn't up to par, then your sleep isn't going to be up to par. Okay, so it's all interconnected. Now, where are we at mentally? Are we shaming ourselves for being overweight? Are we constantly in a state of anger, state of fear, shame, guilt? What is our mental state like? Where are we realistically? What about physically? How do we feel within our body? Does everything fucking hurt? We have aches and pains everywhere. Is the extra weight taking a toll on our body? And what about spiritually? Are we connecting to the higher source? Are we connecting to that inner guidance, that spirit? Are we connecting to God? Trust me, this is all connected. It's all related. So you have to look at all of these different pieces in your life in order to truly understand where you are. So that way, when you figure out where you want to go, it's easier to bridge the gap. And then last but not least is financially. Where are we at financially? Are we overspending on food maybe? Are we constantly in a state of stress because of our financial situation? Like, how do we feel about our finances? Okay, these things are all important. So sleep, nutrition, exercise, those three are the core foundations of a good life. And then mind, body, spirit, finances, those are the core pillars of our temple, which is our body. That is what holds us up in this universe, is our mental state, our physical state, our spiritual state, and our financial state in this modern age. So look at all 7 of those non-judgmentally and be ruthlessly honest with where you're at. Okay? Now that we know where we are and we know where we want to get to, let's expand a little bit more on where we want to go. We know we want to lose 20 pounds, right? We want to go from 200 to 180. Okay, well, what is it that we need to do within our sleep, nutrition, exercise, and then our mind, body, spirit, finances in order to actually get there? Well, sleep, we have to make sure our sleep is optimal because that's when we recover. Okay, our nutrition, well, we have to eat in a caloric deficit. We have to eat less food and we have to eat clean. No processed junk, no sweets, no junk food, okay? Just straight whole foods. And then for exercise, we have to get some sort of exercise in. We have to burn more calories. Do this by walking, by running, by lifting weights, by biking. Whatever it is that you want to do, you have to have some sort of exercise routine, okay? Now, mentally, we have to ensure that we mentally are empowering ourselves. See, your mind can be your worst enemy or it can be your biggest cheerleader. It's up to you to decide how you're going to use it. We want to have empowering beliefs, empowering thought patterns, and we want to make sure that we're using our mind to its full potential instead of tearing us down, instead of breaking us down. So we have to focus on ensuring that mentally we are strong and we're able to deal with the bullshit that comes at us. Now, exercise. And physically, like, how do we feel within our body? We don't want to feel that heaviness within the body. We want to feel light. We want to feel comfortable within our body. And this doesn't just come from exercise. It also comes from things like stretching or yoga or doing primal movements. It could also be things like getting massages. It's not just about the exercise, okay? These are the things that help us feel better within our body. And in order to get to 180 pounds from 200, we must feel good within our body. And spiritually, where are we spiritually? Do we even have a spiritual practice? Are we even connected to that higher source? Or are we fully in this physical reality? Are we forgetting that the source of us, of our being, is higher than this physical reality? Are we aware that there is something greater at play here? Are we aware that we are co-creators of our existence? And if we're not in tune with that spiritual reality, then it's hard for us to co-create a slimmer body. And then financially, where can we use our finances to help us achieve our goals? This, of course, has to do with buying cleaner food, not wasting extra money on the bullshit processed junk in the fast food. You spend your money only on the necessities, which is clean, whole foods. There's a lot of fish down here, bro. They're not that big, but damn, there's a lot. There's one right here. There's two right here, three. Holy shit, there's a lot of them here. Yeah, there's a little ones here and slightly bigger ones here. They probably hear me. Damn. Yeah, holy shit. I wish I could record this. Damn, there's like 10 of them here. Wonder if they're... Yeah. Anyway, so now that we're clear on where we are in our life, honestly, and where we want to go, now we need to figure out what habits we need to create in order to bridge the gap. Now, keep in mind, structure isn't just about habits. It's a big portion of it, but the habits are only one piece of the puzzle. And I'm going to show you exactly how to make those habits stick and how to build a structured routine in your day-to-day life. So after we gain the clarity on where we are and where we want to go, here's how we bridge the gap. First of all, we focus on the foundation, which is sleep, nutrition, exercise, okay? For the sleep, we ensure we get 8 hours of sleep every night, and we go to sleep at the same fucking time every night, and we wake up at the same time every morning. Yes, even on weekends, okay? That's going to take care of the sleep. Now, the nutrition, we have to ensure that we're not eating processed junk, and we're only eating whole foods. And on top of that, if our goal is to lose weight, we want to be in a caloric deficit. Okay, so we want to eat less than we burn. So that's the sleep and the nutrition. And now the exercise. We have to ensure that we're getting at least 30 minutes of exercise every single day. Do some form of cardio every single day. And there's no reason for you as a man to not fucking lift weights. So start lifting weights. So that takes care of the foundation, the sleep, nutrition, and exercise. Now, mentally, we must be mentally strong. Now, how do we do this? It's through focusing on reprogramming the limiting beliefs that we have into empowering beliefs. It's through using things like meditation, affirmations, and visualization. This will allow us to have a more empowering mindset that's going to ultimately help us achieve the goals that we're after. And then physically, what do we need to do? Physically, we already talked about having to exercise, right? But not only that, we also want to make sure that we're stretching properly. We want to make sure that we feel loose in the body, we feel comfortable in our own skin. So we got to do some kind of movements instead of just being a lazy fucking bum sitting on the couch and scrolling for hours. And then spiritually, what do we got to do to bridge the gap spiritually? Well, we need to understand that there is a higher power, and the way to connect to that higher power is different for everybody, okay? And the way you connect to that higher power is by doing shit that's uncomfortable. What this does is when you do shit that's uncomfortable, you get out of the head and into the body, which is where that spirit resides. So bring some present moment awareness practice into your life to connect to the spirit. And then financially, what do we got to do? Well, we got to save our money. We got to make sure that we're not spending on stupid shit. We got to make sure that we're investing with our wallet, right? We're using that money to help us achieve our goals instead of tearing us down. All right, so now we have a clear path, right? We have that structure of, hey, this is exactly what we need to do to get our goals. And these things are extremely important, right? So knowing where you are, knowing where you want to go, and then having a clear path to actually get you there are extremely fucking important. Like all three of those things are super fucking important. But what do you do when you just can't get yourself to fucking do the thing that you need to do? Well, believe it or not, there are two things that make it or break it when it comes to you actually achieving your goals. Now, if you don't struggle with achieving your goals and sticking to your word and doing the thing that you know you need to fucking do, then this doesn't really apply to you, right? But if you're somebody who is constantly trying to make things happen and you're struggling to remain consistent, you're struggling to build discipline, the two things that are going to help you the most, and I know this because this is what's helped me. I used to be the person who had these massive fucking goals, and I would start working and I would start doing the things, and then 2 weeks, 4 weeks into it, I'd fucking fall off because it got hard and I didn't know how to stick to it. Holy shit, there's even more fish now. That's wild. There's so many. I can literally just fucking grab 5 of them. I wonder if they're waiting for some food. So that used to be me. I understand how it is to not be able to be fucking consistent. That shit is frustrating, bro. Like, I completely get it. It's so fucking annoying. You start having that negative self-talk. You start losing respect for yourself. You stop trusting yourself. And you stop having that love for yourself. And it fucking sucks. Okay, so what do? So the two things that have helped me and have helped countless guys that I've worked with is accountability and community. Okay, having an accountability partner, having somebody that is there holding you to a higher standard than you hold yourself to, is extremely fucking helpful. The reason it's helpful is because we naturally want to ensure that we keep our word to others. We'd rather keep our word to somebody else than to ourselves. We don't want to look weak. We don't want to look stupid. So we do whatever it takes to ensure that we keep our word to ourselves and to that person. And then the second thing, which is community, is so fucking important because chances are most of the people around you aren't on the same path. They don't want the same thing that you do. They'd rather remain average, they'd rather remain comfortable than go after their goals and their desires and embrace a life of discipline and discomfort. So you need to get around people who have the same vision, which is becoming the best version of themselves. Because what that will do for you is it will not only push you, but they will push you. They will call you out on your bullshit and they will push you to become a better version of yourself. So accountability and community are the biggest things that are going to help you transform your life if you struggle with building the discipline and the consistency. So if this sounds like you, it's raining, so I got to fucking wrap it up. All right, I got to get the fuck out of here before I get wet. I still got maybe like a 40-minute walk back to the car. All right, so hopefully it doesn't start fucking pouring. But if this sounds like you, if you struggle with fucking discipline, if you struggle with building consistency and you've tried so many things and you keep failing over and over again, I promise you, bro, the accountability and the community are going to be your biggest things. And luckily for you, I have exactly what you need. I have an exact system, an exact structured routine, an exact structured framework that's going to help you truly embody a life of discipline through accountability, through community. So if you need help with building discipline, reach out to me on Instagram, DM me the word discipline and tell me you're coming from this episode, and we'll have a chat and see if I'm able to help you in any way, shape, or form. And if you found this episode helpful at all, I would really appreciate the support if you liked it. Left me a review if you're listening to this on Spotify, subscribe to the channel, and left a comment letting me know your biggest takeaway. And with that being said, I gotta get the fuck out of here because it's raining. It's really starting to come down. See you next time.